to invite Sri Suresh Prabhuji who's the founder of the Cooperative Development Forum and who's taken a very active interest in recent years on forefronting the cooperative movement, in a way by which the ease of doing business can happen. He served in several capacities and understands the functioning of the government, the private sector as well very well. So over to you, sir, and we look forward to your thoughts on how this agenda can be taken forward.
Good morning, my friends.
Good morning.
Good morning, and thank my fellow cooperators for joining in this very important discussion. Let me first of all pay my tributes to a great visionary leader of India, Dr. Kurian. We need leaders at all levels: political, economic, business, social. But the great attribute of the leadership of Dr. Kurian was that he combined the necessary ingredients to make society work better by providing leadership for social spheres, ensuring economic development to that process, creating a business model out of it, but succeeded in keeping politics out of it. He was a strong votary of keeping IS out of his organization. He fought with prime ministers of the time and ensured that no IS officer could ever interfere in his activities. When he talked about IS officers and keeping politicians out, he had a clear vision about what a cooperative should be. Cooperative should be run by the cooperators for the benefit of the members in a manner that will succeed in a marketplace. Amul is a great success story. It is not a success story because it is supported by the government, but it's a success story that it could survive despite the government support. It's a story of how a brand building should happen. It will be the value of Amul would be one of the most valuable brands of Indian origin anywhere in the world. It's a story of how to empower women. But all this he did without compromising quality of his products. So people trusted Amul because of quality. People had faith in the organization because it was run on a very sound business principles, but also providing support to the needy in the society. I remember having come to Anand many, many times during lifetime of Dr. Kurian. When he, Mr. L.C. Jain and Mr. Mohan Dharia, we should run an organization and then cooperator. I should be the chairman of the largest cooperative bank, Saraswat Bank. And of course, I was involved with all layers of cooperatives in the country at that time. He used to always invite me. And I was also informal part of that activity that he was doing. And therefore, I've been to Anand many, many times. But also I've been to IRMA, which is also one of the organizer of this event, which is another fine institution, was created out of the same vision of providing leadership at village level, at the rural level. And we had IIMs. Why not we should have a rural management institute? That was the whole concept. And it has really succeeded in terms of providing very sound leadership by management graduate for rural development. In fact, nowadays, all top business schools And all top boards of the country, or for that matter anywhere, think about how to enter rural areas, because they see a huge opportunity there. And that IRMA provides a necessary gateway for that. Amul provides inspiration for that. And therefore, I'm very happy that all of us are paying tribute to Dr. Kurian in this centenary year. Let me also join the spirit of the organizers in providing necessary memorial tribute to such a great leader of India. And I lost a great friend when I lost him. But a cooperative movement lost a great leader. Now the challenge is, if Amul is such a successful model, we have to first study that model when we are discussing and debating this issue today of autonomy, future for the cooperatives. The best way to do that is what my dear friend just now, Rakesh Kapoor, said. And before that, my dear friend Dilip Sanghani, my friend and colleague in the parliament, and now the leader of the cooperative movement, as the president of the NCUI, as well as the vice president of IFCO, vice chairman of IFCO. Let me join their feelings and also draw inspiration, and very not by just swayed by sentiments, but very objective analysis about why Amul has succeeded, why IFCO has succeeded. What is the reason? If you go by the Amul model, as I said, he built it on some sound principles. Was Amul autonomous? If yes, then we answer the question whether we need autonomy for the cooperatives. Was Amul succeeded with government support or without government support? If you study the model, the answer is clear. And therefore, when we are debating Dr. Kurian's anniversary, why? We are celebrating centenary. Why? Because he created a role model. And the women of Kheda district to begin with, and now eventually in many parts of the country, have greatly succeeded when Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision of doubling farmers' income, this is somewhere we can find a parallel about how it should be done. All those who provide milk to the dairies run by now the Khera district, but all over, even to the NDDB, are they not the farmers? Is it not a supplementary income that is helping farmer to have a sound economic model for his family? Is the milk collected from each and every doorstep of a farmer's house or his farm, is it collected by the government agency? When the milk is sold in the market, and now there are so many value-added products, right from chicken to cheese to butter to anything. The Amul butter, of course, is a very well-known brand, and particularly the cartoons coming on Amul, which was a fantastic brand building idea. Mr. Dikunas did it earlier, many years ago. Is because Amul succeeded in marketplace. IFCO is selling fertilizers in the marketplace in competition with all top industrial houses, private industrial houses of the country. And they also run very successful manufacturing facilities all over the world. What does it mean? That means you must have sound management structure. You must have ownership of the farmers, but management structure completely professional, which is the best combination. Because best management structure will provide good rewards to the efforts of the farmers, the labor of the farmers. And if you never succeed in marketplace, you can never survive as an organization. We have seen all over the world that more or less all the countries, including those who profess communism, are now ensuring that their entities succeed in marketplace. And market is a place where the consumers have a role to play. While we have to protect the interest of the farmers on one hand, we have to also ensure the consumers will get a fair deal. And if you have to manage both at the same time, I don't think there is any better organization than the cooperatives, any other structure through which you can do it both at the same time. Either farmers as producers and consumers as users, and all this interplay between the two happens at a marketplace, which is probably one of the fairest place. Not always. Markets can be manipulated, markets can be definitely hoodwinked, possible. That's why you need regulators. But when consumer is buying a product, he knows exactly what he's doing. And if he's buying a product because he gets a good value for it, is it not a right way to say that the product is good? So product has to be good to succeed in the marketplace. But in the back-ended part of it, where the supplies come in, that benefit goes to the people who actually toil hard in the fields. If it is a agro processing activity, like the milk is not agro but food processing, but related to that, then that's the best way. At both ends, farmers benefit, on the other end, the consumer benefits. And in this case, the role of the government is to support such activity. Amul succeeded because of lack of government intervention. I would not say intervention. Intervention is always welcome. Interference. Interventions are good. When the market failure could happen, interventions are necessary to prevent it. Interventions are necessary to protect farmers' interest on one hand, at the same time consumer interest on the other. But that kind of intervention, which is positive to create that process which is already unleashed through the people's own initiative, is this not the best way to do it? Another important point which we are discussing today is for future. What's the way for future? We have seen the limitation of all the so-called successful models in the world. The so-called market economies are not also succeeding on their own steam. In 2008, everybody had to think about too big to fail, and therefore the market intervention was called for. And whose money was used? The taxpayers' money, the public money. For what? To save a private institution. Maybe for a much larger public interest. I agree with that. But I'm saying that model in itself, laissez-faire, no interference in market, has not worked. On the other hand, everything owned by the state. State will know everything, what to buy, what to sell, what price, what quality, also has not succeeded. But for future, we have to think very clearly, what is the role of a public policy? The public policy, by definition, should be good for the public. It should be for the benefit of the much larger population. And in India, we are not now talking about a world. In world, also cooperatives have a role to play, and they is the only model, in my opinion, can succeed even in the world. But Dr. Kurian worked mainly in India, and today all of us are from India. Let's look at India. 850 million people in India, thanks to Narendra Modi ji's leadership, are getting free food items, wheat, rice, and something along with that. That means these 850 million people cannot survive without this government support. 850 million people on standalone basis would be the second largest country in the world. There's no other country except China which has more than 850 million people. So that many people need support. And there will be some more who may not have been counted into this number for obvious reason, because government cannot have so much of detailed information. But such large number of people need support. Now in future, if you want to provide them support, one way it is happening as an exception is by the government is doing it because of pandemic. But this is also extended from time to time. But by definition, it is not open-ended support, because it is extended. That means it is not open-ended. Now, how do you support such a large population once the government withdraws from this? We need an economic activity that can sustain these people. We need a safety net which will ensure that during emergencies, these people can be taken care of. Do you think private sector will take the responsibility for doing this? The government itself is taking the responsibility but cannot do it indefinitely because the scheme itself is not open-ended. Who will do this? The cooperatives can do it because the cooperatives can be meant to be only for their benefit. And who are these people? They're farm laborers mainly, or they're working in some unorganized activity. Now, this kind of activity, which is unorganized, which is farm labor, who don't necessarily own land, or maybe marginal farmers who own very little land, such people need to be supported in future. And if you do that, India's growth will be higher. But the growth will be higher for the benefit of these people. That's the role of a public policy. Public policy is for public, as I said. And the public is these people. And if you want to support these people, there must be a sustainable economic activity like the one Amul carried out. Dr. Kurian decided to do that. And that time the situation in Khera district itself was not that rosy that it looks like today. He transformed it through such activities. Dilip Sanghani ji, he stays very close to that place. He's from Amreli. Right? Dilip bhai, you are from, you know? Because Dilip bhai is my old friend, so I'm just thinking he's from, not because he's my close friend, he should be in Amreli. I'm saying it's because he's my close friend, I know where he stays. So if I'm not mistaken, he stays there. So just imagine that if transformation can happen through a sound economic activity which has succeeded in marketplace, because of the autonomous structure that they created, this is the model for future. Doesn't mean all these 850 million people can be involved into dairying. It may not be sustainable either. But any new activity in which these people are good, they should be done. That activity should be carried out properly. Also, at the same time, train these people in the skilling activity, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi's program of Skill India. But target should be these people. Target should be another 200-300 billion people who are unorganized sector. Maybe the people in cities urban poor, who are some of 850 million also urban poor. But I'm saying even more, and we can create an economic model through the cooperatives by the support of the government, but without interference of the government, to create good economic sustainable activity for these people. So when we are discussing this issue of autonomy, government, and all other issues of the cooperatives, there is no need to have any debate because there is an empirical evidence in form of Dr. Kurian's own legacy. Doesn't mean we should copy it blindly. Even that Dr. Kurian himself would never have liked it. But use it as a guidance, as a starting point, and build on it through such deliberative process. I'm very happy that we organized this program. My request to my friends who are organizers for this, and particularly IRMA, let it not be only one-off event. If I brought together such very distinguished people, let it be an ongoing effort. And IRMA should actually have, I know they have some very good faculty. I have spoken at IRMA. I think you should think about some sort of a dedicated program. I'm also chancellor of a new university called Vishnu University. We can collaborate and work on the cooperatives as a new engine for growth for the benefit of the people of India. The growth must happen for must benefit the people. That's a public policy, objective of public policy. I know there are some very distinguished people. I could just barely see a little earlier my dear friend, Mr. Jayaprakash Maharaj. I don't know whether he's still there or not. I think he's there, Jayaprakash ji.
Yes,
One of the finest individual I have met. He's a medical doctor, joined IAS, and he was wise enough to resign it at the right time and had a vision to start a new organization called Lok Satta. And I can see, and that organization has succeeded a great deal in creating that awareness about electoral reforms and many others. He was an MLA also, without spending 1 rupee or giving 1 drop of liquor to anybody. There, of course, Professor Tushar Shah, my dear friend of long time, and he and me have worked on water for many, many years. So sometimes he used to work on groundwater, so he has, in my opinion, got underground, so I cannot see him anymore. I think he must be like a groundwater underwear somewhere.
Hello, sir.
So I could not see him. But I'm saying such, and actually Tushar Bhai, if you recall, one day we met even in Anand.
That's right. That's right. Yes.
So I think when I came to speak there, of course, Savitri ji, there are many others are there. I cannot see everybody, so I don't know who all there, so I don't want to miss out anybody. But I'm saying such good lot of people with such good credentials, with good dedication. In fact, Tushar Bhai will tell you there is a scope for cooperatives in water sector. There are, of course, some very good successful examples of water users cooperatives in Maharashtra. But I'm saying cooperatives need not be only confined to dairy because Dr. Kurian succeeded there. It has to be in many forms, many areas, but must work on sound principles and clearly identifiable goals. And as we have seen, the role of the government must be like a parent. The parent always wants the child to succeed and they guide them for their success. But if they interfere too much, the child will not like, or even the parents will not be happy over a period of time for a simple reason because child is not happy. So if you are interfering in child's life to make them happy and they are becoming worse off, then how the parent will be happy? So if the government also will be happy if the cooperative succeed, and cooperative for success, the least government interference is necessary. I am very welcome the new initiative of the Prime Minister of creating a Ministry of Cooperatives. And making a cooperator as a minister in charge in form of Mr. Amit Shah, who was actually the chairman of Ahmedabad District Central Cooperative Bank for quite some time, if I'm not mistaken. I used to be also on the board of DCC. I was also on the board of District Central Cooperative Bank in Maharashtra, also on the State Cooperative Bank. Me and Dilip Bhai and others, we founded Cooperative Bank of India, which has not got license from RBI, is a different matter. But so I worked at all levels. I was on the NCUI board for quite some time. So I think we can actually work together in charting out not just future for the cooperative, future for India. The future for India would be least cost governance model. The future for India would be entrepreneurship-led development. The future growth model for India would be self-governance. And all of this can happen through cooperatives. So therefore, I'm very happy that we are all discussing here. I know there are many distinguished people who will be speaking after me, so I don't want to take more time. And I could have been very happy to be there to participate in this. So I missed this opportunity because I had something else to do in Delhi. But I always look forward to be there at Anand, because for me, I can derive real Anand, pleasure, happiness by coming to Anand. And so therefore I request my friends from Anand to invite me again, and I'll be there. And I really look forward to working with all of you and ensure that we make it as our joint mission to make cooperatives as an engine for growth for India, which people will grow, and therefore cooperatives will grow, and cooperative will grow, therefore the India will grow. I think that's how the model should be. Make people grow first through cooperatives for growth of India. I think if we are clear about this, the sequencing as well, that people must benefit first, and therefore India benefits. And if India benefits, obviously people will be happy. And if people are happy, India's benefit also is integrated into it. So thank you very much. I know I've taken a little more time, maybe because I never prepared a speech, I was just speaking. So if I have taken more time, my apologies. I'm very happy for my dear friend Rakesh Kapoor. He also resigned from the government and joined a cooperative. He would have been the chairman of Central Board of Direct Taxes if he had worked there. His wife also, she became a chairperson of Central Board of Direct Taxes, another distinguished IRS officer. So I think we have such human capital available in the cooperative. So why not make best use of that and make India grow better through cooperatives for the benefit of people of India. Thank you very much.